when we were criticizing last night the softball questions, everybody was saying this is basically an infomercial for the Republicans. And I was saying, no, it's much worse than an infomercial for the Republicans because you don't trust infomercials because they're BS and they're paid for. But when you see people on the news, you assume that the things you're being told are true. You assume that the suit on the stage with him is there to stop him from lying. But when they're actually there to facilitate the lying, that's far worse than simply making them buy the time on TV themselves.
Look, Wes is right that Bernie Sanders handled all the questions great anyway.
Yeah, he did.
And it bounced off of him, and in some ways it winds up helping him because they say, wait, now, are you a one-issue candidate because your litmus test is going to be Citizens United? He's like, yeah, I want to make sure that we reverse Citizens United. That helps him. It doesn't hurt. Okay, that's all true. But I can't.
Too many people know what it is.
Yeah, I can't get beyond the injustice of the softball questions to the Republicans and almost every question to Bernie Sanders. The Native American question wasn't a hard ball. It wasn't against him. The first veteran that talked about, hey, veterans getting mistreated if they have a, some small crime again, was not against Sanders. With the exception of those two questions, every other question was, Senator Sanders, how are you going to pay for free college for people like me when it would hurt efficiencies? Did I read this right? And it would 700 million. No, they wrote 70 billion. Okay, 70 billion, that's how much it would cost, double the amount of Pell Grants. Did I do that right? Right? And so, I mean, every question, and then Chuck Todd, maybe getting our tweets in the middle, was like, oh, look, this one is handwritten. It couldn't be fake. It's handwritten. You see that, everybody?
Yeah.
Well, why are you saying
can't
that?
exist in handwritten form.
Yeah, I mean,
It's as if I told you guys right now, hey guys, I'm not wearing women's underwear. I'm really not. Of course I'm not. Why would I be wearing women's underwear? You see what I'm saying? Like, why did you just say it's handwritten? Yeah. It's handwritten. You see that?
Yeah, I mean, one of your viewers said, I think writing down the questions keeps it smooth and organized and reduces people getting nervous and forgetting, et cetera. And I get that. I was a news producer, and I know exactly what they're doing behind that. But we need unrehearsed. We don't need smooth. Right.
Yeah.
We don't need smooth is an enemy to real improvisational, impromptu dialogue with a politician. But to your point, you always notice that Republicans are able to stick to these broad meta themes of liberty, justice, American pride. You never hear that on this side of the aisle. Or Democrats are in the weeds, in the micro. How are you going to pay? How will you make it better? They're very detailed in the answers that they're being forced to give. But he can't pivot to a very casual, you know what's wrong is America's messed up. He can't. Do you know what I mean? The meta theme. Those are easy ways to sound more popular or knowledgeable.
It's true, but the last time we had a president for 8 years before Obama, the economy was destroyed, and we started essentially a war that is still on fire everywhere because nobody looks at the details.
Yes.
Yeah, but they still do that on half. They don't look at the details.
I just wish Republicans
were
were forced to answer in these detailed ways.
Yeah, but that's a matter where, when it comes down to it this summer, the candidate has to, and I think Sanders will eviscerate
whoever he's talking to
later this summer when he specifically addresses them and says, "No, you, dude, you're wrong." Mm-hmm. And how many? I mean, Hillary Clinton would do that. She'd say, "I think we have a difference of opinion."
The meta themes on the right are just they're being repeated every day and parroted and just volleyed back and forth. It's just nauseating.
So I want to build off that real quick. The Democrats, since they have policy positions, are punished because they will dive into those policy positions and ask them detailed policy-oriented questions, which then does not allow them to do the broad themes that you're talking about, Brian. Whereas the Republicans have no policy positions to speak of. Donald Trump has no policy on anything.
And he has jujitsu. He says, no, I'm not going to tell you my foreign policy. I want to be able to surprise the enemy.
But wouldn't it be great if Bernie Sanders, and again, this is probably just fruitless and stupid for me to say, but what if I would love to hear Bernie Sanders say, I'm going to be the best on veterans. I'll be the best on veterans you've ever seen. You'll never see, I love veterans and they love me. By the way, and then him stop and say, I haven't even answered the question. Is that the president? Is that the kind of candidate you want? Is that the kind of president you want?
Yes.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, use these broad themes that are being thrown around as policy answers and use it against them as ammunition.